What's going on, guys? 30 books in 30 weeks. Oh my goodness. See, I'm telling you, me and my technology, y'all, I swear. And I don't think I can turn it off now because I'm already on my live. So we're just gonna go with it, and hopefully when they don't get a text back, they'll understand. Must be busy. So anyway, yeah, that actually makes me think of something. One of my mentors always says, when somebody calls you or when somebody texts you, what's going on, Terry? When somebody calls you or somebody texts you, that's their idea. You don't have to subscribe to their idea. So just like how I instantly felt the need to respond when I got a text message, that wasn't my idea to be on the text right now. My idea was to be on Facebook Live. So I'm going to stay true to my idea. What's going on, Joy? I'm going to stay true to my idea, which is to stay on my live and forget about the fact that I forgot to turn my ringer off again. So what's going on, guys? 30 books in 30 weeks. Today we are talking, we're going to bring in a weekend with some real conversation here. And I'm going to start off by saying, number one, I'm not here to debate with you. Number two, I'm not here to argue about the subjects that I'm about to bring up. So don't inbox me about it, because that's going to be your idea, and I'm going to treat it just like I just treated that text message, which means I'm not going to respond to it, because that's not what I'm here to talk about. But I'm going to bring up a couple examples that might get some people feeling some kind of way. Don't take it personal. Stay in your own lane. It ain't about you. Stop absorbing other people's mess. Okay. Now that I got that out, welcome. So as you guys come in, you can see I'm sort of extra animated today. Today's a great day, and I told you this whole week. What's going on, Arthur? This whole week, hey Ed. This whole week is huge for me because it's my anniversary week. It's the anniversary to the day that I sold out to my happiness. Is my anniversary to the day that I said, I'm done with the crap. I'm not doing it no more. I'm changing my life. And I decided that domestic violence episode was going to be the last domestic episode that I put myself into a position to experience based on the choices I was making. This is the anniversary of the week, the day, the everything that I learned to just take responsibility. So when we talk about reality, this is my week of reality. This is my reality anniversary. Let's call it that. But yeah, it's my reality. It's my anniversary on my happiness. Scott, what's going on? Hey, Ed. That's not me. Okay, so that's it for now. But so let's get to the point. 30 books in 30 weeks. As you guys come in, feel free to share the video out. Invite some other people to join in on the conversation. Because like I said, we're about to talk about how there ain't no exemptions. You might be cute, but you ain't special type of thing. So we're going to talk about that. And for those of you who might not know who I am and why I'm just kind of going off, I'm sort of out there. Number one, I'm sold out to my happiness. So you just heard me tell you this is the anniversary to my happiness. So that 6 years ago is when I discovered that I could be in charge of my happiness. And that's when I learned to live life on Mars and operate from a space that's really truly my world, my life, my rules. Hey, Gregory. And then the other thing that I always want everyone to know about me is my favorite thing in the whole wide world is to help other women shine, to be a conduit for someone else's transformation, for their success, to help them discover and embrace their star power. I want every time I work with a client for them to experience value added. I don't want it to be average. I don't want it to be an average coaching experience. I don't want it to be an average training. I don't want it to be an average keynote address. I want it to be extra. I want it to be over the top. I want them to walk away going, wow, I really got something out of that. Wow, that changed me. That altered my thinking. Okay? All right, so we're talking about 30 books in 30 weeks. So for those of you who are just kind of chiming in on that, I am reality-based success and recovery trainer, Marcy Batiste, author, public speaker, and this is our personal development journey where I am rating my personal development library. And in this case, I'm actually adding to it because I had not actually read this book yet. I bought it a few weeks ago because I thought, you know what, I happen to like Joyce, and the title caught my eye because it's right in line with the teaching and the methodologies that I fundamentally believe in from a faith standpoint as well as from a reality standpoint. So we're talking about the book Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. And I titled this video, No Exemptions. A couple reasons. Number one, it's about to be tax day, right? And everybody's scuttling. If you haven't already filed your taxes and whatever, you probably getting ready to do that. The big deadline is what, Tuesday or whatever, the 17th. There's no exemptions. That's the deadline for everybody. That's tax day. Now, whether you subscribe to that and file on time or not, whether you filed back in January 31st when you got that form in the mail, that's still the deadline. Now, you can file for an extension, but that's not an extension to pay. That's an extension to file. There are no exemptions. That is the deadline, is the 17th for this year. So that got me to thinking. And then I was watching CNN earlier. Well, I was watching CNN earlier this week, and it was also the 25th anniversary of the horrendous Waco tragedy situation, whatever you want to call that. So there's all kinds of stuff in there, and lots of conversations with like some of the people that had been arrested during that raid, and they were talking to a woman about her experience of being in the cult, and she still, after a number of years in prison, believes that she was right, and that her leader, albeit she might have disagreed with some of his methods, that he really truly brought whatever, right? So she sold out to that for whatever reason, and how jacked up we might think that is. That's what she believes. That's what she sold out to. So I was looking at that, and then today on CNN, Bill Cosby is back in the news for his retrial, and I was listening to some of the testimony from the Condens or whatever her name is, and like I said, don't inbox me, because I'm not here to debate Bill Cosby's guilt or innocence. That's not in my lane. That's not something that I can control, nor is it something you can control. So if you're getting uber passionate about the outcome of this, realign your thinking and circle back to you and what you can control. Bill Cosby's life has nothing to do with you. Not to say you can't be interested in it, but really people are so overly invested. But what I want to say is that what these situations reminded me of, oh, and then the whole Trump thing, right? So Trump got sued by the state of California about some immigration laws and things. So the White House loses, state of California wins, and there was something else. I can't remember what the other thing was. But it just occurred to me that there are no exemptions. You know, we all think that an exception should be made. I worked in the customer service industry for a number of years and worked in the call center for a while. And what I discovered is everybody thinks their situation is special. Everybody thinks their situation is unique. Everybody thinks that their situation requires special approval, special attention, special handling. I have news for you. There are no exemptions. Rules are the rules. And yeah, can exceptions be made? Yes, but there are not exemptions. Exceptions and exemptions are not the same thing. The rule is still the rule. Today, the 17th is still tax filing deadline. Whatever happens in the courtroom for Mr. Cosby is going to be the ruling. Yeah, he can appeal it again up to the Supreme Court, perhaps. But the ruling in that particular trial is still the ruling, just like the ruling in the last trial was a mistrial, right? So I was thinking about that in the context of how we process situations and circumstances, particularly as it relates to, hey Jay, hey Mark, particularly as it relates to relationships, right? And I was thinking about my own situation with domestic violence. So I'll be releasing a new video. I haven't done a video on it in about 3 years. I'll be releasing a new video next week on the anniversary. And I was thinking that the thing that messed me up the most about my domestic violence situation was I thought I was special. I thought I would never be that girl. I thought that that could never happen to me. I thought that I was the exception. I thought there was an exemption of some sort because I was a vice president of a bank, or because whatever the reason, I thought that it shouldn't have happened to me. And that's what messed me up, because it forced me, it allowed me to drop my guard. It allowed me to make excuses for people's bad behavior and the choices that I was making. I was being reckless and not addressing issues when they come up. Hang on, Gregory, I can't see. People think their experience is unique and actually feel that they're the only people. Yes! They feel like they're the only people in history that go through that. And that was me. Like, I remember the day that I walked into my domestic abuse survivors class. And I honestly, like, my good girlfriend, she had to go with me, because I really felt like I don't belong there. That's not me. I felt like I was the exception to the rule. That somehow that I could go through that experience and I was going to be unscathed in the long term. And as long as I just put it behind me, I was going to be fine. And what I learned when I walked in that door that day was that I was no different than the other 13 women that were sitting around that room that had their asses kicked. That's what I learned. And I also learned that I was no different, because when it came my turn, we had to go around the round table and you had to introduce yourself. And when it got to me, I couldn't even say my own freaking name. That's when I realized there's no exemption for me. I'm not special. I am no different than any other woman that is sitting around this table who has been in an abusive relationship, in a violent situation. We're far more alike than we are different. That's what I learned. And I also learned that because there are no exemptions, everybody has to do their work. You have to do your work. You have to do the work the own way. And then that's what led me to realizing how judgmental I had lived my whole life. How judgmental I had been. Like, I really thought, because I was a vice president in the bank, that I was financially independent, that I was always in control of my life and my circumstance, that I was somehow different, that I was somehow exempt from pain, that I was somehow exempt from heartache, I was somehow exempt from having to deal with all the crap that I had been through in my life, and thinking that I could just walk away from it all and just leave it behind, that I could leave the molestation back when I was 12 years old, that I had to deal with it, that I could leave my daddyless daughter syndrome back when I was 4 years old and he stepped over me without saying a word to me and drove off while I'm running down the street screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, wait, no, don't leave me." I thought I could walk away from all that. I thought I could walk away from the mindset that led me to becoming 400 pounds almost. I lost the weight, but I hadn't lost the mindset, which is what continued to perpetuate in my relationships. There's no exemption. I was not special. There was no exemption for me. I had to do my work. And the thing of it is, a lot of the work that I do with domestic violence, a lot of the work that I do with self-esteem and coaching, people don't want what they need. They don't want what they need. They want to think that there's an exemption. They want to think that there's a shortcut. They want to think that they're different than everybody else, that they're special. You're not. You still, if you've been through some crap, you got to deal with the crap in order to move forward. I've been telling y'all all week, BS happens. Bad stuff. Y'all know what y'all was thinking. Bad stuff happens to everybody. There's no exemptions. It's going to happen eventually. If you've been lucky enough that no bad stuff has happened to you so far, congratulations, but brace yourself, because it's coming. There's no exemptions. And so I was talking about how that led me to a very judgmental mindset. I was judgmental of my mother. I was judgmental of people around me. I was judgmental of people who didn't make as much money as me. I was judgmental of people that didn't this or didn't that, or did too much of this or did too much of that. I was like, I can't even describe hardly in words, you guys, how judgmental I had become, because I felt like I was exempt from reality. I thought I was special. I thought that it didn't apply to me. And so then I would impose my judgment on other people and tell them all the things they should or shouldn't do, and how if I was you, then I would do X, Y, and Z. Well, in reality, if I was you, I'd do the same stuff you do, because I would be you, and I would be on the same mental level as you, and I would have had the same emotional experiences as you, so I would do exactly as you do. You only do better when you know better. And if I'm still you, doing you things, living your life, then I would operate as you do. I wouldn't operate as myself. So I had to realize that there's no exemptions. I'm not special, so I can't place my judgment on someone else. And what I gathered and what I learned along my healing journey was that if you give people a non-judgmental space where they feel safe to be authentic, to be transparent, to be okay saying, I don't know, to be okay saying, I'm hurting, I'm in pain, to be okay saying, I messed up, to be okay saying, I was molested, to being okay saying, I, made some mistakes. I didn't always get it right. I got it wrong a lot of times. But you have to create that space for people. And in order to do that, you have to mind your tongue. You have to mind what you say to people and how you say it. And even when you're speaking in jest, you're joking, you have to be mindful that, like I was saying yesterday, everything that you think and speak, you are at a 4-to-1 impact ratio. So when you're thinking negatively and you speak something negatively about someone else, you just put that into the universe. And what I said yesterday, the universe is a boomerang. It's going to bring it back to you. There's no exemptions for that either. So now it might not come back looking exactly like how you put it out, but if you put bad stuff out, bad stuff's going to return to you in one way or another. And what you have to realize is that it's going to come to you in a way that affects you. Just like they say the devil don't tempt you with nothing you don't like. Well, guess what? You can't be hurt by nothing you don't care about. So in order for you to have and feel the same impact that someone else felt based on what you did to them, something comes back to you that makes you feel that same impact on that same level, so that you can have that experience and understand there's no exemptions. You're not special. You're not special. So because we're bringing it back to the book, and I'm tell y'all, so this was all the stuff that I'm giving this the foundation. That's all the stuff I was thinking. So then when I sat down this afternoon to do my reading, it says, keep your tongue from evil, for let him who wants to enjoy life and see good days keep his tongue free from evil and his lips free from guile. Meaning, quit talking bad about people. Just stop it. Keep your tongue from evil. Like, mind what you say, because what you say is what you are creating. So many people want something, better or greater or whatever, but they're still doing the same things. They still think the same way. They're still hanging out with the same people and expecting a different result. And we all know that's the definition of insanity. But at the end of the day, reality will tell you that there is no exemption. What you put out always comes back. What goes up must come down. We talked about that yesterday, that 4-to-1 impact ratio. What you say, what you think, what you speak 4 times versus what you hear from somebody else. And so realizing that if there are no exemptions and you are truly not special, that for you to want more, for you to want better for yourself, for you to want better for your life, for you to desire success, for you to desire growth, for you to desire healing and inspiration and all those things, motivation, guess what you have to put out? You have to put out all those same things. Keep your tongue from evil. Watch what you say. Watch what you think. It changes the game. It changes your life. There's no exemptions from that. All right. Have a great day, guys. I will talk to y'all. Actually, make sure you tune in tonight, too. I'm going to be a guest on Terry Little. I think he was on here earlier. I'm going to be a guest on Common Sense, and we're going to be talking about going from voiceless to victorious, how to bounce back after trauma, after domestic violence. So great timing for that. Make sure y'all tune in for that. That's tonight. It's 5 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I don't know on the East Coast. I've gotten all confused now. Can't keep track of my time zones, but I know what time I'm supposed to be there. So I'll be there at 5. So whatever time it is now, y'all figure it out. Mountain Standard Time. Okay. Have a good one. As always, thanks for living life on Mars, y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later.